You're not old enough. You're not man enough to handle the real truth.
So many people don't even seem to be looking for it at all.
They don't want to hear it. The one thing that people, you know, I've said this many times in lectures, that people will always, and this is the secret, I'm going to tell you a secret. It took me 50 years to figure it out, but I'm going to give it to you for free. This is the secret, that people will always support financially and in every other way. People will always support what they want to hear, what they want to see, what they want to eat. People are not going to support what they don't want to hear. I don't. If I'm going to buy music, I want to buy the music I like. I'm not going to support music I don't like. Well, that's just normal. People will always buy and support and put money into what they like to hear, what they want to see, and they will not support what they don't want to hear. Well, the one thing that has been proven over thousands of years that people, highly sophisticated marketers know, and the Bible talks about, and all the ancient scriptures have said the same thing. The one thing you can count on that people around the world, generally speaking, do not want is the truth. They're not open for it. They don't want to hear it. They want to hear about basketball. They want to hear about Paris Hilton. They want to hear about the latest movie star and who's doing who and what. They want to hear what the great president has said, the presidential decrees. They want to hear all the important stuff like the basketball scores and all. The one thing people, generally speaking, in this world do not want to hear is the truth.
That you're
They're not
a slave.
about to send you any money to help you if you're talking about actual, factual truth. Because people don't want to hear it. Why? Because it's very unpleasant. And one of the most incredible producers and directors that Hollywood has ever turned out was Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick was an extraordinary man. And every movie he had anything to do with, every movie he produced, people in Hollywood have told me every movie that he had anything to do with, Stanley Kubrick, he would research, incredible research. He would have books upon books upon books. He would personally read all of them and personally do research for months on end on a movie he was going to make, so that he would be an expert's expert on the subject. So if you want to find fault with his movies, you're going to have to really look. This guy's done his homework.
That's what got him killed.
That's exactly right. That's what got him killed. Because his movie,
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut. All the horror movies I've ever gone to as a kid, I was scared to death, and all the sci-fi movies I still like, all these scary movies, nothing has ever frightened me, more legitimately frightened me as an adult than Eyes Wide Shut. That for me was a movie that 3 times I rented it because it's Stanley Kubrick. I wanted to see it, but 3 times I rented it, and I got to the place in the movie where that very sophisticated European guy is dancing with Tom Cruise's wife, or the girl, and he's a highly sophisticated guy, and he's playing this young girl. And when I saw that, I turned it off, because I know where this is going. I already know. This guy is not looking for sex and with a young girl. No, this guy is devious. This is human sacrifice kind of stuff. This guy is really bad. And I knew it. I could just tell by the music and tell by the look on this guy's face. I don't want to see this. This is dark stuff. This is demonic depravity. And as it turns out, the 4th time I got the movie again, and I decided no matter how bad it is, I want to see this movie because Stanley Kubrick is sensational and I want to see what he's done. Now I know why it's called Eyes Wide Shut, because that movie shows you something about real life, how these people in power really live. And they don't mind having to kill a prostitute as part of the ritual. They couldn't care less. They rape and plunder, and then after they're through with you, then they will kill you. And then they take off the mask the next day, and they're your top attorneys, your politicians, your doctors, and all of the cream of society. But at night, they belong to secret societies, put on masks, rape, and if necessary, child porn, and kill, and sacrifice. I can take you to a place right now up on Coldwater Canyon. Coldwater Canyon and Mulholland Drive. Back in the wood area. I've been there twice. Not doing any rituals, but I've been taken there by people who were a part of this ritual and took me up there to see it one time. And there is actually an altar of sorts built up, or some kind of an altar with all the bricks all laid out and then leveled out, and you can see blood on the altar, and there was human sacrifice there. And I've been told also that they have human sacrifice by people who are involved in it. I've been told that they have human sacrifice over in Glendale in a place called Eagle Rock. So even today, in modern day California, we have human sacrifice, child sacrifice. It's happening right now in LA.
Well, they just caught, what was it, something like a dozen people with child pornography on their computers that held high positions in the Pentagon. So this stuff it's widespread through the Catholic Church, through the military, through the government. You look at
on the earth.
You look at the information from people like DeCamp.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's just the first time you come across it, it's almost staggering. It almost beggars belief that there would be so many people with this little empathy for other human beings. And as you get into it, it's so in your face.
And the church, all the symbols in the church are sexual, but Christians don't know that. I mean, they talk about the anointed one. Do you know what anointed means? Have you ever looked up the word and see where it came from?
Usually, it was they would anoint these sort of lingam type stones with oil.
Right. Precisely, anointing. Look up the word. So when you hear that, well, Jesus was the anointed, and so was anointed, and even today, you will hear Christians talking about their ministers, well, he's one of the anointed. Anointed was a sexual act, where in the ancient world, males before sex would lubricate their sexual parts with oil. So they would smear oil on their penis, and so it was a anointing. And this is what it was to lubricate the male before sex. So that's what the word anointing meant. And it still means that today, anointing. And then when you look at the word church, where does the word church come from? This church sounds so holy. Like I said, there's nothing holy on the earth.
Well, doesn't that come from the Celtic kirk?
Yeah, of course. Exactly. And the church in English comes from the Celtic word kirk, K-I-R-K, or K-E-R-K, kirk. That's why there's an old Christian hymn called Kirk of the Valley. Kirk is a Celtic word, church is the English word. But what's really interesting is that when you trace kirk back to its origin, the etymology of kirk goes back to a goddess in the ancient world. Her name was Circe, or Circe.
Oh, okay.
And she was called Mother Circe, or Mother Circe, in the ancient Greek legends. And Circe becomes Circe, and Circe becomes Kirk, and Kirk becomes church. But what's important about this is that go back and look at Greek mythology and Mother Circe. She was able to hypnotize people, bring them into her home, close the doors behind them, and take their minds away, so that they no longer knew where they were or who they were. She would take their minds away magically, and it goes on to say in mythology that she would then eat them. She would eat they would turn them into pigs and animals, and then and would live off of them. That was Mother Circe, Mother Circe, Mother Kirk, Mother Church. And so today, that's exactly what's happening. Mother Church is magically bringing people in with all their entertainment,